What's up everybody, this is Scott with 512 Garage and I'm back with another video. Today we're going to be prepping our ZR1 ZTK wing from Extreme Online Store for installation on our C7 Corvette. So this video is all going to be about prepping that wing. We have another video with the installation process, and guys, you're not going to want to miss that one because it totally transforms the look of our C7 Corvette. So I'm going to link that video above my head and down in the description, so make sure you check that one out right after you're done watching this one. Now, there are three distinct areas of prep that we need to do before we can install that wing on the C7. And the first area is installing the stabilizing braces right here into the cavity inside of the spoiler. The second thing we're going to need to do is install these brackets, and these brackets are what hold the wing to the stanchions to the rest of the car. So I'll show you how to do that, and then finally we're going to go ahead and install these end caps. And yeah, this is really going to finish off the look of that ZTK spoiler. Now, you can get this spoiler and all of the parts and accessories for C6 and C7 Corvettes on Five12Garage.com. So hop on over there and maybe pick one up for yourself. So let's get over to the workbench and stop talking and start working. All right, guys, well, here it is, the ZR1 ZTK wing from Extreme Online Store. We have it over here on the workbench on top of the actual packing material that the wing came in so that we don't scratch that finish. And speaking of the finish on this wing, it's really good. I inspected the entire wing when I first unwrapped it and pulled it out of the box, and I can tell you the finish on this wing looks just about factory. Now, I know some of you might want to hit this with some polish before you install it, or maybe even after you install it, but it's a good looking finish on this wing. So I have no concerns about how it matches the factory finish and whether there's enough gloss on that clear coat, because guys, it looks really, really good. Now, let's get started with installing those stabilizer bars. And the first thing you're going to need to do is, well, you need to flip the wing over so that you can see the three panels that cover the cavity inside of this wing. And so what you need to do is remove the center cover, and there's just some double-sided tape holding all of these covers down. So if you take your heat gun and slowly start to warm up that double-sided tape, you'll be able to use a trim tool to pry the cover off. And I can tell you from experience, guys, you want to go relatively slow here. You don't want to pry too hard, and you sort of can use the pry tool to separate the adhesive, just like I'm doing here. You want to try not to obviously warp the plastic cover here as much as possible. And when you get, you know, about this far here, hit it with some more heat. And then just keep slowly working the cover off. And there we go. The cover is off, and now you can see there's a channel or a cavity inside of this wing that runs all the way down towards either of the tips. So now what we have to do is grab our stabilizer pieces and also remove all of this old adhesive. Now, you guys can decide if you want to use the double-sided mounting tape or opt for some sort of epoxy to hold these panels back in place. All right, so here's a hot tip for you guys. I told you only really need to totally remove the center cover in order to complete this job. So what I went and did was just peeled back a small portion of this side, and I was able to fit the stabilizer brace down into this channel without fully removing this cover. And that's very important because the less you have to remove of these covers, the less of this old adhesive you ultimately have to remove. So that's a hot tip for you guys. Remove the center one fully, and then go ahead and heat up just a few inches of the side covers. Slide your stabilizer brace in, drop the middle one in, remove your adhesive, put some new adhesive on here, and slap it back together. That's what we're going to do right now. So I already did the other side. I've got both of the end pieces in. I didn't have to use new adhesive. You can just press it right back down into place. Now I need to remove all this old adhesive and get the center section installed. So with all three covers in place, it's time to install these brackets onto the spoiler, which will hold the spoiler onto the car. And we do that using the included hardware here and a 4mm Allen wrench. Now, these brackets are not side specific, so you can put either one on either side. And then go ahead and install our hardware. All right, now with our hardware installed, we can flip the spoiler over and it'll be time to install those end caps. Now, I'm going to find a box to put underneath this spoiler so I can keep it up in the air off of the workbench. That way it'll make it a little easier for me to attach those end caps. All right, guys, I decided to use this old cooler to hold this wing up off of the workbench. It was actually the perfect width for those brackets. Now, we need to go ahead and clean the tips of this spoiler with some isopropyl alcohol before we peel away the mounting tape and install these end caps. And you should know that these end caps do come with the mounting tape pre-cut and pre-installed. So let's get this clean and get them installed. So I'm just going to go ahead and spray some isopropyl alcohol mix. Now this is just diluted down alcohol that you can buy at a drugstore. And I'm using a lint-free towel, clean lint-free towel, to clean the edge of the spoiler here. Make sure there's no residue, no waxes, no cleaners on the end of the spoiler. Then I'm going to go ahead, pull away the backing on the mounting tape, and when you install these end caps, you want to make sure that the angled piece is on the bottom, and you can see it's cut out and it fits perfect to the wingtip, and you just slide it into place and press down for about 30 seconds, and you'll be ready to go. So once I get both of these tips on, we'll get it off the workbench and we'll wrap this video up. All right, you guys, here it is, the ZR1 ZTK wing from Extreme Online Store, prepped and ready for installation on our C7 Corvette. And man, this thing is huge and awesome. So like I said, guys, I'm gonna link that video down in the description, so make sure you go check that out after you're done watching this video. If you have any questions about anything you saw on this video or any of my other videos, you can always email me, Scott@team512.com. And remember, we have the full line of EOS parts and accessories on Five12Garage.com, along with shirts like this one and hats like the one on top of my head. So if you want shirts, spoilers, other aftermarket parts and accessories for your modern Corvette, hop over to Five12Garage.com. Now, if this is your first time to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss an episode. And as always, leave me some comments because you guys know I love interacting with people who love cars and Corvettes just as much as I do. Till next time, see ya.